Jesus. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in another beautiful sunny day in the beautiful city of York. And we are just now getting ready to get out of the town or the city. If yesterday we went to see how history can be brutal, today we are going to see a different perspective. Today we are going to see how a monster came to be. Okay, what happens about stories? Sometimes you just need to be in the right place at the right time to get the inspiration that you need to think of something that becomes world-changing, world-shattering. And that's what happened with the story of today. That's what happened when the writer of the mythology creature we'll be talking about today, Pete, that's what happened to him. He was short of inspiration. He was short of ideas. He happened to be visiting a certain place, and just like that, that place gave him in many different ways what he needed for his story, for his character, for what he was trying to do. That place unwittingly gave him all different types of inspiration and material for him to work with, to the point that he created now one of the most well-known monsters, one of the most well-known creatures in mythology today. And we are of course talking about the Count Dracula and Bram Stoker, who is the writer of the Dracula story, of course. And the place where we are going is called Whitby, a very British name, a very British town. Whitby, it just happened to have in itself all of the different little bits or things that Bram Stoker needed for his story of the Dracula. He just happened to have the views. He just happened to have that mystic vibe. It just happened to be a town that by itself was mired in mythology and stories, local stories, and that ended up inspiring what Mr. Bram Stoker ended up writing. Whitby, just unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for the Whitby people and Whitby town, it just happened to have the right ingredients to be the place for Dracula to first arrive in England and start his rampage around the country. More about that later. Right, this is Sutton Bank, which sounds odd, doesn't it? Like a place where someone named Nigel might keep their savings. But it's not that kind of bank. This is one of those roads where the map shows a line, and then the bike discovers that the line is actually climbing into the sky. It's not going straight at all. And somewhere up there, apparently, is one of the finest views in England. But at the moment, all I can see is asphalt, mirror, and gravity getting personally involved into this struggle. I do not know why it feels that it must go that slow. Regardless, I don't like it. So that was Sutton Bank for you. This area feels almost abandoned, kind of spooky even, the way it feels. Look at this. Oh? What is a red phone box doing here? I do love me these random churches, these random places that you find by the side of the road. It appears services are still held on this nice little church in the middle of nowhere. Just beautiful. And then suddenly the world opens up. That is the strange thing about riding through places like this. One moment you are tucked into edges, blind corners, and that deeply biker fear of tractors. And then the road lifts its head and the land just unfolds in front of you. Fields, sky, distance, like a feeling that you have been temporarily allowed to see the map from above, which is me being a little bit poetic. It is the sort of view that makes you forget the climb that you just did immediately. Okay, after a little stop to rest, to eat, not eat really, to have a snack and to rest my legs, now it's time we get back on the road and now heading straight to Whitby. We have a couple of hours to ride to get to Whitby. It is extremely hard to overstate what Dracula became. Bram Stoker did not invent vampires, but he could almost claim so by giving the world this version that refuses to die. The cape, the castle, the aristocratic manners, the coffin, the idea that evil could be ancient, charming, and extremely well dressed. All of that came from him. And since then, Dracula has escaped the book completely. Nowadays, he is in films, he is in games, in cartoons, in breakfast cereal, comedy sketches. That is the strange power of mythology. A story starts on a page and eventually becomes something everyone recognizes, even if they never ever read the book. And now, over a century later, we all still know the exact same rules. Avoid the bite, beware the castle, question anyone who never eats garlic, wear a crucifix, and if a pale aristocrat invites you to stay the night, perhaps book a Premier Inn instead. The sign there just said deep ford ahead. That's interesting. Well, we arrive at the so-called ford. How deep is that? Jesus. Yeah, can you help me? Yeah. 1, 2. Jesus, it's slippery. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that was completely unexpected. Oh, that's the brake pedal. Otherwise, I'm fine. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's very slippery. Yeah, thank you, mate. Thanks a lot.
I thought it was Graham at first.
Second?
I thought it was Graham. It's brilliant though, isn't it? We have bike.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Not such a brilliant Ford. I just have a tumble in there.
Have you?
Yeah.
What? Off the road or on the road? Oh, bless you.
Yeah, it's the back brake. Oh. So we'll have to go back just with the front brake, being careful.
Yeah, well, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, but the bike looks to be all right.
Yeah. In general, it feels all right as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be as slippery as it was.
Yeah.
So.
Slippery. Yeah, and just a little too much maybe.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm completely fine. Yeah, I'm completely fine.
If you want me to help you with that,
yeah,
call me.
Yeah, will do. Yeah, thanks a lot,
Either
sir.
way, best wishes.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
I'll just try to get to Whitby first.
Yeah, you'll probably get the hang of.
Yeah, I will do. I'll do.
Right.
Thanks a lot,
Andy.
sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Hugo.
Okay,
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye. It is always easy afterwards, isn't it? Like after a drop, there is always that slightly annoying conversation that you have with yourself. You replay it in your head. Should I have stopped? Walked it? Maybe gone slower? Not expect it all to be concrete, but probably yes to all of them. The useful lesson though is that a ford is not just water across a road. It is water hiding whatever the road has become underneath it. And the obvious dangers, really, isn't it? The obvious dangers get respect. The polite ones are the ones that wait until you are halfway through before introducing themselves properly. And there it is, Whitby Abbey. Even from a distance it has that look. You can immediately see why Stoker's imagination found something here. The sea below, the cliffs, the abbey on the hill, it's unfolded around the harbour. It is not hard to make Whitby look Gothic. After the moors and the small aquatic humiliation earlier, this feels like arriving at the reason for the whole day.
In this very bench, supposedly, Bram Stoker used to sit, and looking over the other side, got the view that inspired him into writing Count Dracula, his most famous book and one of the most famous monsters in modern mythology. But how did that came to be? Story says that Bram Stoker came to Whitby in the end of July of 1890. He stayed at Mr. Zvizi's guest house in the Royal Crescent, which is really not very important. But the point is, at that point, he was already working on a different story, set in Austria with a central figure called Count Wampel. Whitby helped change that. Because Whitby offers something Transylvania alone does not. A real English harbour, battered by weather, overlooked by the ruins of the abbey, with graves leaning towards the sea, and a churchyard reached by 199 steps. And then there is the ship. While in Whitby, Stoker would have heard about the wreck of the Dmitri, which is a Russian vessel that ran aground on Tate Hill Sands in 1895, carrying silver sand. Stoker reworked that into the Demeter, the doomed ship that brings Dracula to Whitby in the novel. So one of the most famous arrivals in horror fiction comes from a real coastal incident. And in 8th of August of 1890, Stoker went into Whitby Library. There he found a book by William Wilkinson about Wallachia. That is where he encountered the name Dracula attached to Vlad Tepes and noted its meaning. It is clear on this point Whitby gave him not only locations but the famous name itself.
In Dracula, the Count arrives at Whitby by sea after the doomed ship Demeter or Demeter crashes into the coast. And then, because apparently vampires enjoy making an entrance, he comes ashore in the shape of a great black dog and runs up towards the churchyard. So I'm following that route from the beach through the town and up the famous 199 steps. It sounds atmospheric in a gothic novel, but in real life though, it feels like cardio with a literary excuse. Still, there is something brilliant about it. The story takes the landscape and turns it into a trail for us to follow. You go from the sea to the steps to the churchyard to the abbey. You don't just read Dracula here, you climb into it. And so, this is where the day ends today. There are worse places to end a day than this. This room in Whitby, looking out towards the abbey. It's comfortable enough for me. I'll have a good night's sleep. And tomorrow, we move on to a different place. See you next time.